Hey guys, so today we are going to answer a subscriber question, so let's get into it. The question in question was basically, Frederick, can a solution architect become a software developer? Well, let's start off by stating something first and foremost. Most of you may not even know what a solution architect is, so let's try to define that a little bit first and foremost. So a solution architect is one of those people who, well, in my experience at least, it's very, very hard to get a straight answer out of such a person and just have them tell you exactly what it is that they do. But I am actually fortunate enough to have a very good friend of mine who actually works as a solution architect, and let's just say this. A solution architect, the primary function of this person is to act as a consultant, as a person who provides solutions, if you will, to their customers for different business problems. And what the hell does that mean? Well, it depends on the solution architect, but it can vary from making widgets, small like React or Angular applications which are included as a third-party script on a page, which allows a person to do various things. And it can also include integrations such as using cloud functions and stuff of this nature in order to create triggers which basically run certain jobs on certain events when they happen, or setting up webhooks of this sort of thing. So just basically doing integrations. Now, why would a person ask whether or not such a person could, or a solution architect can become a software developer? Well, because it's not the same thing. It's very popular in the industry to, and this is one of those times where, I've said a few times that there is a very, very big difference between knowing how to write some basic code and knowing how to write software at a professional level, or write as a software developer does. This is one such instance where coding skills is required to do this job, depending on which one you have, of course. I mean, there are different solution architects that do different things. As I said, if you want to make widgets, then you need to know at least basic JavaScript. But it's not a hard requirement all the time. So my friend knows some basic shell scripting, some basic JavaScript and so forth, and can actually make a living off of this. No problem. However, it's also important to note here that the level of development that is taking place in these sorts of projects is not on par with what you will see at a real IT company, where you're actually working as a systems developer or a software developer, whichever you prefer to call it, right? So the question is a little bit odd. I mean, guys, if nobody's told you that, anybody can become a software developer, given that they have, well, some of us are going to have to work harder, some of us are going to have to work less hard, but I mean, it's completely feasible. It's not something that is beyond anybody. You don't have to be a super genius to be a software developer. You do, however, have to invest quite a lot of personal time and work pretty hard to get there. And it's not something that is going to come easy. If you're looking for an easy job, look somewhere else, because it is not an easy job. It's a very rewarding job. It's a very stable job. It's a very safe job. It's very future-proof. So there's a ton of benefits, but it's not easy. So when somebody asks me if a solution architect can become a software developer, my first thought is that this seems to be a question that comes out of fear more than, I mean, is it possible? I mean, if a junior who has never worked as anything can become a software developer, go to school and do all these things, then of course anybody, if you have prior knowledge as a solution architect of IT, you're going to be able to make that change as well. Another take on the question is, all right, does this person mean that, it's just to do, how hard is it to migrate from one to the other? In other words, do you as a solution architect have the necessary skills to become a software developer? It depends, of course, but from what I can hear from my friend and his coworkers when I'm out eating with them, and when we're interacting, no. It is their coding skills are not on the on par. Maybe for some of them have enough JavaScript knowledge to be able to maybe apply for a front-end position, but not just software development in all overall. But if you really want to know if you can make the switch, of course you can, but you might face the requirement for at least to take a few boot camps or like get some proper education or get a degree or something like that in order to do it. So what I want you to take away from this is that when the question comes, well, can a solution architect become a software engineer? Of course you can make that switch just as anybody else can make that switch. But you should know that the coding skills that is required in order to be a solution architect is on average a lot lower than what software development is about. It usually is, well, it's a bit more challenging, but it's not something that is beyond you. Have a great day.